It's Siobhan Muir. Welcome back and happy July. Yay, happy July. Anyway, so what we're doing today is we're going to transition from baking, because June was desserts. Now we're going to look at, we're going to do a new thing called home pantry, a food pantry meals. But because there's a holiday this week, we are actually going to start off with something that's very traditional in most American households, and that's homemade mac and cheese. And this is a family recipe. We're not going to tell you whose family, but it's a family recipe. And it has been, we're going to change it just a little bit because we're going to make it gluten-free. And we're going to make it lower dairy, right? Because we have cow milk, or cow cheese, two different kinds of cheese, but we're using goat milk. So it's going to be slightly different. We're also using brown rice pasta because, again, the Muirlets can't eat regular wheat pasta, and we all want to enjoy this. We've forgotten one thing.
What have we forgotten?
The breadcrumbs. The gluten-free breadcrumbs.
I didn't know we were part of that.
Yes, that's what goes on the topping now for this particular recipe. That's how we do it. So, she found the breadcrumbs. Yay! And they are gluten-free breadcrumbs too, because again, if you can't have wheat, we are not going to put wheat on top of a dish that's like, yay, we can eat everything but the top.
It's okay. For me and my bowl, just don't put that on the top. Except for we both know that when you bake it, you put it on the top before you bake it.
There you go. She's working through the logic. So, all right. So now you'll have to forgive me because it is a family recipe. Someone texted it to me, and so now I have to look at my phone, so you can't see the recipe. So there. But it is called homemade macaroni and cheese. It's supposed to serve 8 to 12 people. And the recipe originated from Marcia Benedict, but again, we've changed a few of her suggestions. So what we've got is we're going to start with 4 cups of water that's going to go into a pot. 4 cups of water.
I picked the right size pot. That's what I was after.
Yes, good job. 4 cups of water. And we're going to do an entire teaspoon of salt, which is a lot of salt, but
yeah,
an entire teaspoon of salt that goes into the water. and the instructions are really difficult. Combine water and salt in a cooking pot, boil it, and add the noodles. That's the extent. But we're going to do it a little step by step here. So what we're going to do is put 4 cups of water in your pot and add your teaspoon of salt. Instead of just throw it in there. That doesn't look like enough water.
Ever.
We're gonna add another cup. Another cup of water, please.
Alright, I can do that.
Yep, add another cup of water. So for us, we're doing 5 cups of water. But we're still doing a teaspoon of salt. You really don't need that much more salt. Mostly the salt is to help lower the boiling point, so that it'll make the water boil sooner. However, it also flavors the water, so when you're cooking pasta, your pasta doesn't taste meh. And that's a technical term, by the way. Set your water to boil. She's really excited about the cheese.
It's what's gonna happen.
I know!
You just haven't given me the go-ahead to start yet.
Then it says 2 cups of macaroni.
Not until it's boiling.
But you will wait until it's boiling to add it. We are using, brown rice pasta. Now it says 2 cups. I would just say use an entire 1 pound bag of the brown rice pasta. The cool thing about this elbow pasta, this macaroni, is that you can get this at Walmart. See, it's the great value brown rice. You can get it at Walmart. So this is not something that you'd have to go to a specialized store to buy. You can find it if you need the gluten-free stuff. So otherwise, just get regular macaroni and throw it in there. But we're gonna wait until the thing. That really doesn't look like enough water.
I know.
Okay. So we're gonna use the whole package, but it did call for 2 cups. All right. And then it says, don't go away. 16 ounces of mild cheddar cheese, shredded. Now, again, because we're modifying this recipe a little bit, we're gonna do about 16 ounces of cheese, but we're using Monterrey Jack, and we're using a really good cheese called Dubliner cheddar. It is so good. It's a harder cheese, and it doesn't melt as well. So the reason why we're using the two different cheeses is the Dubliner, it gives the flavor, and the Monterey Jack is the creamy. So go ahead and start shredding. So what we'll do is we'll just shred the trees. Shred the cheese until both these blocks are gone, because you're going to want to have at least 16 ounces, which is 2 cups of cheese. So we might need to cut some more Dubliner. And the reason I want her to start shredding the Dubliner and then shred this stuff is a little stickier and softer. So when she shreds it, we'll mix it all together, because I want it to be combined.
Gosh, that's good cheese. It is good cheese.
All right. And then to that, we're going to eventually add 2.5 cups of milk. So the instructions are pretty fun. Preheat oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius. Combine water and salt in a cooking pot, boil it, and add the noodles. I mean, really high-tech directions
It's like
here.
writing a procedure in a science class. Just assume that the kids already know how to read and how to do things in the science lab. I'm not kidding.
Drain the water out and add the milk and cheese to the noodles. Heat until cheese melts. So we're gonna take you step by step through this instead of just like throw it in there and call it good. You know, it's not gonna be that simple. But these are the directions. Empty the pot into a 9 by 13 inch cooking pan and place over, not oven, but over for 35 to 40 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, so that's the extent of this recipe. However, what we're gonna do is put 5 cups of water in a cooking pot along with a teaspoon of salt, which is starting to get ready, which is kind of nice. So we suggest about 9 cups of water, especially if you're going to do an entire package of brown rice, gluten-free pasta. So fill your pot with 9 cups of water and 1 teaspoon of salt. Yeah, because we find that otherwise it's just not enough water.
And gluten-free pasta, particularly rice pasta, is a stickler for sitting on the bottom of your pot and just sticking there. It doesn't even cook.
Would you add oil?
I normally do. Not that the oil does too much, but it does seem to help the pasta from sticking together. So, it's kind of funny because putting oil in a pot of water with pasta would be like, why? The oil doesn't even touch the pasta, but in my experience, it actually seems to help.
I think you got 2 cups of.
Oh yeah.
So now what I want you to do, now that is just kind of mix it together so you make sure that the cheddar and the Monterey Jack are kind of distributed throughout. Because the way the recipe is written, you kind of have to know these steps in advance. I suggest
You can tell the subtle difference in color.
Yeah, I suggest you prepare your 9 by 13 inch pan, because once the pasta is done and you mix it with the milk and the cheese, you're going to want to immediately, because they already said start your oven, you're going to want to immediately put it in your 9 by 13 inch pan. Now, here's a question. A lot of people, what they will do is they'll serve it in that 9 by 13 inch pan, and that's fine, because then you just take a spoon and would it make sense to put tin foil on the inside of it to make it easier to clean? And think about the after effects. So probably not. We won't layer it. But here's a 9 by 13 inch pan. You use it for cakes, you can use it for other things, but all right. So set that there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cook our pasta. This thing says boil uncovered, stirring occasionally for 8 to 9 minutes. What is your
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, because it is gluten-free, because it is rice pasta, it's a different kind of pasta. It's going to take longer to cook than your general macaroni noodles, which take about 5 to 7 minutes, I think. Don't you think?
And if I remember, 15 is the magic number. I am going to put a little in here simply because it's very exciting.
Alright. Oh yeah, you use the pasta source. Okay. So, and the thing about gluten-free pasta is you do kind of have to keep an eye on it because it likes to glue itself to the bottom of the pan. So,
I'll check on it.
in how many? Two. Alright. So, we set the timer for 15 minutes because it's gluten-free pasta. And we've added salt, we've added oil. We did add just kind of dump a little bit of oil in there. It's another way to keep the pasta from gluing itself together. You want it to glue it together with the cheese. You don't want it to glue it together just because. So that's why we added the oil.
Otherwise, like a whole level of pain. It's like,
So we're going to let that cook for about 15 minutes because the exciting stuff happens after the pasta's cooked anyway. So I'll see you in 15 minutes. Once the pasta is cooked, drain the water and add the milk and cheese to the noodles. Heat until cheese melts. I'm gonna turn this back on. I'm gonna put it on low though. All right, so we're gonna put the pasta back in the pot.
yeah, I gotta be back there.
Why don't you put some lavender on that? All right. Yeah. Actually, it looks really good. Okay, now we're gonna heat it up, and I'm going to use.
Do you want to see what that's good?
Well, no, I'm gonna use a wider one. A wider one. So I'm gonna stir this around a little bit so you can kind of see what the pasta looks like before we heat it back up. All right. Then what we're gonna do is add 2.5 cups of milk. Two and a half cups of milk. There you go. And the cheese, which okay.
I got it.
Put it over there for now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it all together. I know it doesn't say it in the recipe, but that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, now what you need to do is you need to heat this thing up, which I am, until the cheese melts. So I think I'm gonna let it sit for a bit and then let it kind of heat up. You're gonna laugh though. This is the very, very first time I have ever made mac and cheese homemade from scratch. I have never done this before. And I certainly have never done it gluten-free. Well, we have melted cheese. Okay, so what we're going to do then, according to this recipe, is I think you just put it in the pan.
Okay.
Cheese melts. Empty the pot into a 9x13 cooking pan and place in the oven for 30 minutes or until golden brown. I don't think we even cover it. I think we just. Do you want? Let's not do that on the.
Okay. Just tell me where you would like to do it. Want to do it on mommy though?
Yeah, I think that would be better because if we make a mess, we can clean it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I'm gonna get a... Alright, go ahead and pour. That's alright, just pour it.
Just trying not to
I
make
cannot
a giant
see, so
mess.
I'm just letting you know that,
Okay.
that
How about I do it like this?
that would be excellent. Because then I can see, and then we can spread it out.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna need some soaking.
I can do that.
Alright. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread out the pasta all the way around so that you know that you have everything. All right. Wow, it looks really soupy, but. Okay, and then moment of truth here. This is what the gluten-free plain breadcrumbs.
That's good.
I think so too. All right.
I'll put this away.
All right, and then it says 30 to 40 minutes.
So you want to start with 35 then?
Or until golden brown.
I guess we're going to start with 35.
We'll start with 35.
Alright.
Never made this before, so.
Much less gluten-free. Alright. I know. Isn't it kind of funny how it...
All right, open the oven and we will put this thing in. I
Feel the heat.
hope this works. All right, 35 to 40 minutes. We'll start at 35, we'll see you then. No, okay, that's
Guess
good.
what we're having for dinner?
Turn it off.
Yeah.
It's bubbly. What do you think? None of us have any comments.
Take a bowl.
Well. It's thicker than I thought it would be.
Oh my god. Now I know how restaurants do. Wow.
Yeah.
That actually looks Thank heavens, I'm really hungry.
That actually looks really good, is what she said. What do you think?
We'll show them this and then we'll see what Does it taste?
Anyway,
This is what it looks like.
yeah, that's what it looks like. And again, I've never made this before, so I'm gonna taste it. Oh, that's really good.
Wow.
What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's really good. That was a success. I know it's a little scary to see the cook go, I don't know it's gonna work. But I have never made this before. But it's really good. Goat milk, gluten-free, 2 kinds of cheeses. Success. Yeah? All right. So, that's homemade, gluten-free mac and cheese. Yay! I'm so glad it worked. I'm so delighted that it worked. All right, so definitely, if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so that you know when new videos come up. And yeah, happy making, happy baking. What?
Like the video.
Oh, yes, and as just like the video.
Make sure we know.
Yeah, please let us know that you like the video. But happy making, happy baking, happy eating, and happy reading. Bye.